Back in the dark ages when I was a boy, there was no such thing pretty much as technology and computers, particularly as it related to me growing up in public housing and what have you. Then another 50 years later, then the whole world is driven by computers and technology and the learning behind those things, and just how the whole system and the whole world operates. And what's driving it is science, technology, engineering, and math. And if in fact one is to be successful in the new environment, then he or she must be able to manipulate and handle those four things. Luckily, there is an organization in our community that deals with those items, particularly for young ladies. And that's important because a lot of times people have thought or tend to think that young ladies can't be pilots and they can't be engineers and that all of these scientific entities are designed more for young men, but that ain't true, as evidenced by Central Georgia's Real Impact Center. So today I have with me Ms. Geneva West, who's the CEO, Executive Director of the Real Impact Center. And she can't do it by herself, and she needs some board support. So with her today is Ms. Pamela Brown, who's the board chair for the Real Impact Center. How y'all doing?
Very good.
Doing great. How
Yeah,
are you?
I'm outstanding.
Good.
I'm so glad that you all are here.
Glad to be here.
And I'm so glad because, you all heard my previous interview. And I'm so concerned about young people. And I'm so concerned about the future of these young people.
Right.
And I'm so happy that we have an entity, an organization in our community designed specifically to contribute positively to the success of these young people. So thank you for all that you do. And congratulations on being a part of Macon magazine.
Thank you.
So if you want to know more about her, then I'm going to charge Savannah for this. If you want to know more about her, then pick up a copy of, because there's a very good article on Miss West, and she did a phenomenal job in being interviewed. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, a little bit about me again. Thank you very much for having me on the show. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Pineview, Georgia, Wilcox County, south of here by an hour. Country girl.
Big old city.
Big old city. One caution light that I am very proud of that laid the foundation for exactly who I am today. I was raised with a father and a mother, Robert Lee West, the late Robert Lee West, and my mother, Mary Frances West. And I grew up the youngest of 8. So I was really the youngest. I was the accident youngest because I'm 8 years from my next sister up. But it was at that time my mom was able to retire and not have to work anymore. So here I was growing up and in Pineview, Georgia, and getting quite the training, if you will. My family really reared me into volunteerism, community service, giving back, going to pick up commodities, passing them out, doing different things in the community with the church base. So that is my true foundation of community. And so I then went over to the Fort Valley State University, where it continued. I mean, it was a family-oriented university, and I was then able to major in mass communications. I did not major in any STEM-related subject, but I did have friends who did, and they stayed at labs, but I stayed hosting the radio show and the TV shows and writing in the newspaper. But it was during that time that I continued to work with the Habitat for Humanity, work on the newspaper, working in the community as a whole with the Boys and Girls Club, ironically, and giving back that way with kids. So I've always had a heart for giving and working with the youth and working in the community with people. So from there, I moved to the big city of Macon, Georgia. Yeah, Macon, Georgia, where I was told that, hey, you shouldn't start anything here. You should only just live here and not necessarily try to do too much, because it's all about who you know, and if you don't know the right people, then you cannot succeed in Macon. Well, that was just enough that I needed
I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I think I can conquer that.
Yeah.
So that's all I needed to hear to know that I should start the program. And the reason that the program got started, I have 2 daughters, Amari and Jada, who's my absolute inspiration for starting the program. They allowed me to teach them on my off time. I work for a wireless company and I only had 2 days off a week, and whatever those 2 days were, I would have them and whatever girls they invite over to teach and to help with character development and different skills that I would work with the kids on, and even tutoring. And from there, they continued to want to invite more and more kids, and that kind of made me look at the situation like, hey, I really want to see girls work together and not apart. I really want to see when another woman walk in the room that we embrace her and that we engage with her and not look her immediately as competition. So I wanted to start young at teaching my girls that and showing them how to do that and showing other girls how to do that. And from there, I was then birthed Real Impact Center. And the STEM didn't come along until a little bit down the road after I did a little research that less than 25% of women were in STEM fields in the U.S. So because of that, I thought, well, in my marketing background, I said, we need to make this a forefront of what I'm doing. Parents would only, for so long, bring their kids to get character development, life skills. But for them to attach education with it and be able to see where science and engineering, as I make them understand what it is, it will last longer. So with that, thus came Real Impact Center, the STEM program for girls. That is real impact for a reason. It's not STEM for girls. It's not Real Impact Girls Only. It is Real Impact Center because of what it will grow into one day. So we definitely are starting a foundation, have started a foundation with Girls Only, but it will definitely land its future into helping families as a whole.
Outstanding. Well, why are you, Chairman Brown, involved in it?
Everything she just said. I first met Geneva at church. And I learned a little bit, and our personalities, I think, are very similar. As you know, I'm an educator. I'm an advocate for children.
Right.
Always seeking to want to help children. As you said, I was listening to your other interview, and I'm real concerned about our children in this community. So I am always looking to involve myself in the areas of the community where it's going to help kids or give them another avenue,
right,
or another way of looking at something. And STEM is the way, as you said earlier. You are not going to be able to survive or compete in this environment if you don't have those things that STEM focuses on and look at and try to train you in and get you ready for. Technology is here. And we seem to define technology as our cell phones or our computers or our laptops, but it's far beyond that. When I decided to really want to get involved with STEM, I read that they were teaching the girls how to make lip balm and lipstick, and and they need to know that. Who knows? They can be the next Mary Kay or whoever. And as you said earlier, it's all about how we instill that dream in them. And right now, I think we have a generation of children that maybe don't have dreams. And I see this program as being a center where those dreams can be birthed. They can, you can plant the harvest, and these children can grow up thinking, okay, I can do this. So that's really what kind of turned me into
that's
that.
phenomenal. And thank you for serving.
Right.
I really appreciate it because I know you, and I know how involved you are in whatever you do,
Yes.
and how you want everything that you touch to be successful. And I'm sure that you are playing a role with Ms. West that's very important, and that will assist her to continue to do all the good things that she's doing. Well, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to talk a little more specifically about what STEM is. Then I want you to talk about the activity that you got coming up and how people can be involved and how you can be supported in that endeavor.
Okay, sure. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And I will say at times we call it STEAM, and we include the A and we add the arts, right? And so what that is a very innovative way to intertwine or integrate those particular subjects, science and technology and math separately, as you put them together so that a child who may have a hard time with math can do math very easily by coding on the computer, block coding or writing code on the computer. So it's a drag and drop process that they do, and they don't realize they're doing math. They don't realize how efficient they're getting and understanding things that they will see in a math class on its own that will intimidate them. But once they get to doing block coding, or better yet, our Pretty Cool Lego Girls robotics team, they build a robot and then they program that robot to move and go straight, go left, go right. All of that is math. And
They do from scratch.
it's a box full of little tiny pieces that you don't want to drop.
Yeah.
And they build that. They have one brick and they build it from scratch. I have a team of 9 girls. They just won the regional competition for first place in the project. Thank you. As well as the robot design, which means the design of the robot that they made was exceptional enough to get the highest points in one of the last competitions.
Wow.
Right? And these are 9 little young black girls that are on this team that were able to successfully conquer 24 other teams that were there and get the highest score
Wow.
at that time.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. We did just celebrate our girls on yesterday, and it's important that we celebrate them because we told them that you make STEM look cool. It's no longer nerdy girls and people who can't socialize or anything like that. They got blue hair and they pink hair and they look cool and they got tutus on and funky glasses and they're making lip balms in the process. So they're able to turn it and make STEM look very cool, very exciting, and engaging. So with STEM and what it is, it integrates all of those subjects together and make one less intimidating over the other because they're integrated. So it helps you with that critical thinking and that problem-solving ability that you would need for the milestone testing. For example, with Bibb County, you have to do a little bit more than just take and guess at a standardized test. It requires a little bit more critical thinking. So this puts the girls on a pathway for that. And those are some of the things that we help them with along the way. And I will say it indeed builds their confidence in STEM, right? So once they find out, when they went to their first competition for robotics, and so many people's like, are y'all an all-girls team? Are y'all an all-girls team? And they were like, why are so many people asking us that? I said, baby, it's a big deal.
It is.
It is a big deal, and they didn't get it at first until they got there, and they were able to hear the excitement in people's voices who wanted to take pictures with them because they were an all-girls team, because it was unheard of. And we've done a lab before where they had to draw a picture, get one piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left side, they draw a scientist. On the right side, they draw a teacher. On the left side, they almost always draw male as a scientist. And on the right side, they almost always would draw a teacher as a female. And there were a few girls in the class that would make it the opposite, and I asked them why, because girls can do it too. And so our program allows us to grow girls into believing that they too can be an engineer, and they too can be a chemist or a scientist. And then we've had to pull in their families in order to help them engage that. So that's the program that we have coming up, the Macon STEM Festival. That festival allows the entire family unit to come out and engage in STEM. So we send this young girl home saying she can be an engineer, and she tell her parents, and they go, no, you can't, what is that? That's too much. But at this point, we're able to have the girls and their entire family come and let them see what it's all about, let them try it too, and they can say, I can see where you can be an engineer. That's just like you. You tinker with things at home, so this makes sense for you to want to be an engineer.
Now, will the girls get a chance to kind of show
Absolutely.
some of the activities and the projects and the things that they've done?
Absolutely. So for one, our robotics team will be there, and they'll get to run their robot and show its mission.
That they made.
That they
put together.
That's right. They'll be able to do that. And in addition to that, we want the families to see STEM everywhere. So there's Georgia Power, who's a sponsor of this program, and one of their groups is going to be there to be able to do solar energy and to be able to participate and engage families with what they do. We'll have flight simulators there, and we'll have some of the other larger robotics team and RoboBib hopefully to be there. And graphic packaging will be there, showing us how to make paper. So there are so many companies that exist that even families don't know that engages us with STEM. And so on that day, we want to be able to showcase how to do that.
And not only that, it will kind of get these young people to think about having responsible jobs and careers and professions, and so that kind of provides the atmosphere for them to do that. So go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned that, because not only do we expose girls to STEM, but we teach them life skills along the way. And you mentioned the salary. So kids in STEM, industry, they can have up towards a six-figure job. So we also engage them with those life skills to be able to help them save, invest, and spend that money along the way. Not just set them up for a great job and they not know what to do with the money or how to, keep the money and invest the money to keep their families where they need to be, but we also help them with learning how to save, invest, and spend that money as well.
And that's phenomenally important because, you teach them what to do and how to do, but you also teach them how to act.
Right.
And how to engage in real life situations.
Right.
Because intertwined with the ability and the intellect to do something is your behavior. And I know you talk a little bit. Well, you want to just kind of address that a little bit, Pam?
Well, what I want to address is that, thanks, is one of the things that Geneva said, and one of the reasons I'm excited about the program is that it does teach our children, it addresses these things with the milestones, the Georgia milestones. We can't get around it.
Right.
They've got to be able to accomplish it,
right.
to achieve it, to pass it. And that, the education part of it, the self-esteem part of it,
right.
the career part of it,
right.
all of that draws me and other people and the other members of the board to the program, because if these children can't get out of school, regardless, but it does heighten their ability to function in school,
right.
to pass those courses, to be able now to ask some tough questions. Questions they may not have ordinarily even
right.
thought of
right.
to ask.
Right.
We want them to intimidate the teachers. We want to have a STEM class maybe for them,
right.
but also to intimidate them, to let them know I'm thinking,
right.
I'm trying to process this information, I am engaging and doing the things that you want me to do as a student, so that hopefully the teachers will go a step beyond and then try to take them where they are
right.
and heighten what they're
right.
doing, as
right.
opposed to,
right.
Just assuming she doesn't know or
right.
she's not going to do this.
I think it's interesting that, and I just know that it says Autism Friendly.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, because I know, let me tell you, there's this guy, I don't know his name, but he was in a production at the Grand, and he was doing James Brown, and he's autistic, so, it just warmed my heart to see that it was recognized that he has a talent too, and that he can do something, he can interact. It was the Otis Redding thing.
Okay.
It was the Otis Redding production, and so talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I think as a community in Macon, we host a lot of great events here that the families can come out and engage with. And this particular event, the Macon STEM Festival that we're hosting, I wanted to ensure that not only could some of the family come out, but the entire family, there were no limits. There are no limits with disability, and there was no limits with autism. So with autism, when it's a loud festival, music, noise, sometimes it's not friendly. It's not sensory friendly to them. So with our partnership with Hutchings, they're allowing us to use their space so that we can have a sensory zone, a zone where they can go on their own in complete silence or mild tone for them to be able to engage in STEM as well. Thus, the family can come out as an entire unit and have two separate places to go at the same location. Not for this day, we have to stay at home because you're autistic. I didn't want to put limits. I want it to be all inclusive to every member of the community in the best way that it could possibly be. Very important to me that it's inclusive, and that's what we wanted to make it. So you're right, for someone to be able to do James Brown and he's autistic, we want them to be able to come in and see themselves. They may sometimes feel like no one understands them and no one wants to be around them. that's okay. A STEM background would allow you to be in your own space and still be able to do great work and make a six-figure and give back and engage the community.
Right.
My godson is autistic, but classical music is his thing.
Right.
He loves music,
Right.
and he loves the opportunities where he can deal with his headphones and his. So this is a place for him.
Right.
Yeah, we just didn't
There's
want
space for everybody.
there is
Yes.
space for
Yes.
everyone right here in this community, and we wanted to ensure that it
Now, I
exists.
noticed that you're going to have some guests visiting the STEM, the festival. Talk a bit about who's coming.
Yeah, so we have the science machine, Michael Green, coming down. Science for everyone. He's coming from Atlanta.
He's called a
Georgia.
science machine.
Science machine. He has green hair, has on a lab coat, some funky shoes, and he comes and he gets on stage and he produces a phenomenal show where everyone's able to engage in that show. He gets participants out of the audience that are able to participate, and they do nitro and pour it on your head and nothing's there. I mean, just quite a few things that he's able to do, and fireballs and all this kind of stuff. As well as Dr. Serena is coming. She's coming from out of Atlanta as well and going to put on a show. She's from Science Creations, and she's going to come and be able to put on a show throughout the day. And then lastly, we have Ms. Sumter from Albany, Georgia, who's going to do a drone show, okay? Focusing on Me Drone Works is what the company is. And she'll have cages for kids to be able to maneuver the drone through. So we didn't want to put limits on anything on this day. And there'll be a lot of hands-on participation. And those guests are very important because they understand what it is to be engaged in STEM, and for the entire community to be engaged in STEM. So we're excited to have them come on board and participate and be a part of the
So
event.
now who can come to this STEM festival?
You can come to the STEM Festival, so I want to see you there. First of all, everybody, he needs to be
They're
there.
the safe zone.
Right, right.
Safe zone.
Don't let me operate no drone now. And don't think I'm going to put together a robot.
I want you to
I got to
try.
put my dressing in the morning.
Well, I want you to try. And here's the thing. If you can be there, that means anybody can be there.
That's right.
The youngest of kids will have a zone that's etched out for them, as well as teenagers. Teenagers will get to walk in, and there'll be a semi-college fair, if you will. Colleges will be there. Fort Valley State University will be there, as well as Mercer and Wesleyan College will be there for you to come in and learn about the STEM careers at that college.
You know what I'm reminded of?
What is that?
What Joe Biden told the President Obama, when they got the health care. This is a big thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is a big thing,
big.
So now talk about where it is and the time and, and how one can get additional information.
Sure. So the Macon STEM Festival is going to be on March the 21st. And it's at the Central Georgia Technical College Titans Arena on Anthony Road. That's 1780 Anthony Road, connected the old Ballard Hudson building. So right there, connected to Hutchings College and Career Academy. That's where the entity is from 10 to 3. You can go to MaconSTEMFest.org in order to find out more information. We need your food truck there. We need you there. We need you if you want to be a STEM exhibitor there, as well as sponsors. That's very important for you to come on board and be able to join us for this great event. It's all inclusive. That means you belong there.
So you're saying that you got space for vendors?
Yes, we do have space for vendors, and it's primarily STEM vendors. So someone that's producing a very hands-on STEM activity. So we have a group coming to do flight simulators. That means you can sit at their table and you can actually engage in something. This is not really a come by and just a science fair where you just look at everything.
Right,
This is for you to get your hands dirty on that day and really get engaged is what it is. However, we do have it where colleges can be there, or entities that also produce STEM, type of collaborative events where they can show that not only can you attend a Real Impact Center event, but you can also go to the Museum of Aviation or the Museum of Arts and Science to engage in STEM as well. So those type of organizations and companies will be there to be able to showcase their company with STEM, as well as colleges to be able to kind of talk to the college experience and the idea if you wanted to major in one of these areas. Central Georgia Tech is a great partner of ours, and we will have their biotechnology department there, as well as the electrical engineering department there. So we don't know that STEM is right there at Central Georgia Tech, and we
Now,
want to be sure.
wait. Now you're talking all that engineering and science talk, and you were a math major. I mean, you trying.
I was not a math major. I wish I could have been.
Mass
I was
communications.
Mass communications major, yes.
Right.
And so was I.
Yeah.
So I had to learn this.
But I think there's a story in that.
Right.
You know, that you were able to learn and develop and put together this kind of program because you wanted to.
Right.
Because you were motivated to.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to congratulate you
Thank you.
on what you're doing. So anybody can come.
Anybody can attend this great event. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what about other girls? You know, they're going to start talking about, I want to be a part of that. I mean, are you to capacity or what?
No, we're never to capacity, and here's why. So first off, let me say that the Macon STEM Festival is absolutely free. I want to point that out, okay? But as far as to capacity, we have a year-round program for girls.
That's what I'm asking
That's
about.
STEM-tastic Saturdays. Girls can come, and then we have Girl Power STEM Camp for girls to come to 2 weeks in the summertime. And we host a Girls Will Be Women in STEAM conference every year that generates about 250 girls to be able to participate. As well as our pretty cool Lego Girls robotics team. So we have so many different avenues. We have girls that are dancers, basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
They are able to still come and join at the right time that works for them. So we're not at capacity, and we partner with the school district in order to do a Real Girls Code Club in the schools. So we're open to partner and to connect with you in the community in order to ensure.
And anybody who wants to kind of support through donations, what should they do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to support
You
through
thought I'd never
donations,
say it.
thank you. Like, there we go.
I was going to get it out.
So if you want to support through donations, you can go to realimpactcenter.org, click the donate button, and we'll be happy to receive your payment. By all means, donations and money is great, but your physical being there is important as well. I will point that out because I can't do this alone, and having someone like Ms. Pam and the rest of the board and all the other volunteers is important. But if you do want to partner and work with us, we ask that you do so. But go into our website at realimpactcenter.org. Reaching out to me at 478-714-6039 is another opportunity for you to engage with us as well.
Well, Miss Pam, thank you so much for your involvement and
Yes.
your support of this young lady.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know it means a lot, and that's what we have to do. You know, once we get a little older, and I know I'm much older than you,
Okay.
I don't even say that.
We need to edit that.
Yeah. As we get a little older, then it's our responsibility and our duty to support young ladies like
Exactly.
this. I really appreciate what you're doing. This is a call to action.
A call to
I'm your
action.
host, Alex Halverson. I'm having interviewed Ms. Pamela Brown, Chairman of the Board of the Real Impact Center, thank you, and Ms. Geneva West, who's the Executive Director of the Real Impact Center. Don't forget, it's what date? The STEM Fest?
The Macon STEM Festival is March the 21st from 10 to 3, and it's absolutely free for the entire family. At Central Georgia Technical College, 1780 Anthony Road.
Be there.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.